I've done nothing. Hey, I was standing in a church with my food in my hand and watching a man who was getting arrested. And they arrested me for not moving.
Get into the car.
They've arrested me for not moving.
To prevent a breach of the peace, correct?
Breach of the peace? I didn't do nothing. Oh.
So as you've just heard, if this guy is correct by what he has said, the police didn't deny it, so we're gonna go with he is correct that he was stood there watching somebody get arrested and, well, allegedly get arrested because apparently nobody else was arrested, and then they've asked him to move, and then they've arrested him to prevent a breach of the peace. Now, what did he do which made you believe that he was going to breach the peace? Because you can't just arrest anybody you goddamn please for a breach of the peace. Breach of the peace isn't even a criminal offence. So I would like to know what grounds they had to believe that he was going to commit a breach of the peace, and we'll get into that when it actually comes into that bit of the video. And I'll pop it up from two different sources, the legislation and their own guidelines. So let's just get straight into this video because that's quite annoying that they've done that.
Is that all? You're fucking laughing at all. I wasn't smiling at you, so chill out. Yeah. Carl? Carl?
Is that you? What the fuck you been doing? Carl, what have you done? What have you done, mate?
I've done nothing. Hey, I was standing in a church with my food in my hand and watching a man who was getting arrested. And they arrested me for not moving.
Get into the car.
They've arrested me for not moving.
To prevent a breach of the peace, correct?
Breach of the peace? I didn't do nothing. Oh.
Okay then, so let's actually have a look at what it is talking about. So it's section 5 of the Public Orders Act of 1936, which is this.
Prohibition of offensive conduct conducive to breaches of the peace. Any person who in any public place or at any public meeting uses threatening, abusive or insulting words or behavior with intent to provoke a breach of the peace or whereby a breach of the peace is likely to be occasioned, shall be guilty of an offence.
So this again doesn't mean toss, does it? Because it's not been threatening, abusive or insulting words or behaviour, none of that. So let's actually go to the College of Policing's website and go down to their bit, which I've highlighted already, there, which states this. I'm only going to go up to here.
Breach of the peace gives police powers to intervene and or arrest when an individual causes harm or appears likely to do any of the following. Cause harm to a person. Cause harm to that person's property in the person's presence. Put that person in fear of such harm being done through an assault, a fray, a riot, unlawful assembly or other disturbance. Police officers may take reasonable action, including arrest, to stop a breach of the peace or to prevent one that the police officer reasonably anticipates will occur imminently. Reasonable action may also be taken where a breach of the peace has been committed and where it is reasonably believed that a recurrence of the breach is threatened.
Okay, so a breach of the peace is to cause harm, cause a person harm to a person's property, or put a person in fear that such harm will be done through assault, riot, and otherwise. So which of these do they believe is going to be done? Because they said it's to prevent, which they can arrest you for. It's not an offence. but they can arrest you for it to prevent it from happening. So, what are they actually preventing from happening? Harm to a person? Probably not. Harm to property? Could be, because it was in the church. Or causing a riot and disorderly behaviour, or assaulting somebody, or fray? Probably not. So, I wonder what their reasonable grounds are to actually arrest him for to prevent a breach of the peace. Which one of these do they believe he is going to do? Because they must believe that he's going to commit one of these and have a good enough grounds to believe that he's going to. It's ridiculous that they use this section quite a lot, and most of them don't even realise what it is. They think it's just to stop people from shouting and that lot. No. It's harming a person, property, or causing riots or unlawful assembly and other disturbances. It's a little bit ridiculous. But let's continue into the video.
I was standing there and I didn't do nothing at
So
all.
what section are you arresting him if you don't mind
What's
asking?
common law?
Common law for...
No,
No, it's not common law.
Yes, it is.
It isn't.
It isn't.
He's allowed to stand somewhere.
I was standing in a public place.
Jump in the car.
Use a mess up here.
Right, can I have both of your badges, please?
Tony, can you
27449, Sergeant. Work at Leak, thank you.
Tony, can you?
And what's yours, mate?
26876.
Thank you, Tony. Cheers, mate. I was standing there.
Jump in the car.
Didn't do nothing at all, and he arrested me
Get into the
unlawfully.
Get into the car.
So have you been abusive to him or anything?
Nothing at all.
into the car.
Nothing.
No,
No
I
abuse.
don't want to have to use any more force than absolutely necessary. Get into the car.
I
sit
will
in the car.
get into the car. Can I answer my friend, please, who's talking to me?
Get into
Right,
the
I
car.
haven't been abusive to them whatsoever. I was standing in a public place and they've arrested me unlawfully.
You've not been arrested for being abusive.
They've arrested
So
me.
why are you arresting him?
Prevent a breach of the
No.
peace.
To prevent. That's no such...
Prevent a piece of the people. That is no law.
That isn't a law, mate.
You have your phone there.
So, unfortunately, it is a law, and I would like to know what their grounds are to believe that he's going to commit a breach of the peace in the first place. Because just standing there and watching you arrest somebody is not grounds whatsoever. There must be some sort of grounds to arrest you for the prevention of a breach of the peace. So they haven't explained, they just said that's what he's arrested for. Now this person doesn't understand that that's what he's arrested for, and I'm pretty sure they haven't explained what the grounds are for the arrest for the prevention of breach of the peace.
I know you're recording currently, which you're entitled to do.
I know the law as well, mate.
Google it. It's called breach of the peace.
No, breach of the peace is a law. Preventing breach of the peace is not a law. No, it's not, mate. No, it isn't. You know it isn't. You know it isn't. So you're taking him away just to make sure he doesn't do anything? Is that what you're saying? You're taking him away to make sure he don't do anything?
Prevent a breach of the peace.
Which is a load of rubbish.
Excuse me, sir, I want to get past.
Yeah. So, all the other people, the one that just ran up the road, which I videoed,
Hold on.
right, mouthing off at one of your police officers, right, that wasn't a breach of the peace or anything like that.
I wasn't here.
Right, well, one of your officers
Okay.
had hold of him and then let him go, and he stood there giving it all that at him.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't
Yeah,
there.
I'm sorry, I've been here with you lot before,
Okay.
a lot of the time.
Okay.
Totally out of order. You let that guy run off down the road, your
Let him
copper
run off, did we?
let him run off,
Right. I'm not
effing
gonna
and
continue
jeffing
this-
at
I'm not
you.
gonna continue this argument, fella, because you've obviously had too much to drink. I can smell the alcohol coming.
Oh, mate. So I'll be next, fella.
Hopefully not. Hopefully you'll.
Right, I can speak to you and tell you you are out of order
Do you
for
want
what
to
you're
wait for
doing.
this fella and then I'll jump in.
Yeah. My name's,
Do you want to just move forward, mate, so that this
my
fella can
name,
open the door
if
and
you
then,
want it. Can't believe this. Yeah, that's local police.
Okay then, so that's where I've ended this video. I just go back over to the other police across the road and have a conversation with them about that arrest and if anybody else has been arrested and why they let the person run away. So the person he was watching get arrested did a runner. This is what I'm getting. Did a runner and the police didn't care, so they arrested him instead. It's a little bit backwards if you ask me. And to be arrested for the prevention of breach of the peace, they can only hold you until the breach is over. So just removing you from the area can also be the end of a breach of the peace. So this whole taking him to the station and that lot is absolutely nonsense, because there's not a protest or anything like that. To prevent a breach of the peace, you could just take him home, which would also do the same thing. Just remember, when you get arrested for preventing a breach of the peace, you're under no obligation to identify yourself because it's not a criminal offence. And they can only hold you until the breach is over, which means just moving you from the area as long as it's not a protest or anything like that, because then you could be held until the protest is over to prevent you from breaching their peace. But like I said, it's not a criminal offence. You're under no obligation to identify yourself, even when you get took to the station, and they can't hold you for not identifying yourself. All of this is just my opinion. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this interaction. As always, like the video, it does help in YouTube's algorithm, and I'll catch you on the next one.